Welcome back. Part 3, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith came out 2005, the year I graduated from high school. So that was a great year because we're getting the end of Star Wars, we're getting the end of high school. Awesome stuff around that time. A little bit higher on the scale for this one on Rotten Tomatoes. We got a 79 for the critics and a 65 for audience. So you bump up 5 points essentially. Nice. And I think that pretty much most people can agree. Attack of the Clones went down in a lot of ways. Phantom Menace, of course, had gone down from the original trilogy, but Revenge of the Sith started to kind of move things a little bit back up. And that's why I'm not so worried about Force Awakens all that much. I think that they've learned their lessons by now. We had, for instance, Jar Jar is only in, one shot, and he just kind of goes, excuse me, or something like that. That's it. So, yay, no Jar Jar. And instead of getting something like the Gungans all acting weird or whatever like that, we get the Wookiees. They're ripping arms off and shit. But Revenge of the Sith, as far as first impressions and stuff, how did you guys kind of view this from before? How does it stand up over time? Shaun, what do you think?
I wasn't expecting you to go first for this. That's why I was muted. I liked it. I really enjoyed certain parts of the film. Other certain parts of the film could have been totally taken out, and I wouldn't have given a shit. Like the fact that General Grievous was in the film, he could have been taken out.
What? Grievous is awesome.
What?
Yeah.
Grievous didn't have to be in there. The whole Order 66. No, pick a different number. 66. 66.
66 is more threatening than Order 8. That seems like something that would be on the menu of Wendy's or whatever. I'll have an Order 8, please.
What do you reckon orders the other orders were like? Order 65. Order 65 was like, I'll have a double cheeseburger and cheese.
I think it's some of that blue
64,
milk.
Kill Jar Jar.
Some of those pears from episode 2.
The more love interest storyline that didn't have to be in there, and the dreams didn't have to be in there. But other than that, it was a good film. The pacing was pretty good on this film.
Calen, agree? Disagree? What do you think?
Oh, I agree. This was a huge step up from episode 2. I liked General Grievous in the movie. I liked him. I liked the whole opening scene on what was it, Grievous's flagship with Count Dooku, and then they're going there to sort of kill Dooku and rescue Palpatine, and I just like that whole scene. Overall, the movie is probably my favorite of the prequel trilogy. It had, Order 66. I thought that whole scene was great. We saw not Luke, but we saw Anakin's descent even further, and in the end, obviously, he becomes Darth Vader totally. And I think it's a very, very strong movie.
Angie, your thoughts?
Yeah, this one is definitely my favorite, and I love the villains. Oh, there's so many things I like about them and what they do in the movies.
Even Grievous, Shaun.
Yep.
See, he's so shocked that.
Aww.
What? I kind of accidentally loaded up a YouTube video and I kind of missed that. What?
Oh, Jesus.
The villains. I love the villains.
Why? There was one good villain in it. There was only one good villain in it, and that was Anakin Skywalker right at the end.
I will argue that Dooku sucks.
Why did he cut off his head?
Why not?
It's not necessary. He cut off his arm, so he cut off his head. At least cut off his other arm, an arm for an arm, an eye for an eye, not an head for an arm.
He was too dangerous to be kept alive.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit,
as Palpatine said.
Yeah.
Well, Palpatine would just want Anakin Skywalker all for himself, man.
See, now the way that...
If General Grievous fucking shot him, right? Because he didn't have a fucking clue who he was.
If the way that Dooku gets killed, I don't know if that's something that directly influenced this or not or whatever, but if he would have had that cross guard, wouldn't have happened. Because he gets his hands cut off because of just the positioning, and that cross guard would have blocked that from happening. So maybe Kylo Ren's kind of learned the little problem about this. I liked him decapitating him, though. I thought that was a nice little, I don't know, it was unnecessary, which was cool about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I said I like the villains. I I didn't necessarily say I liked how they died.
That's true. Do you think that it's good that they kept him in here, though, or should they have killed Dooku in part 2 and just focus on Grievous?
No, I don't think Grievous by himself was strong enough. I think you needed Dooku because that kind of plays into Palpatine, as far as how he's manipulating Anakin. And if they would have had that in episode 2, I would have thought it would have been moving too quickly. But even though they put this at the very beginning of the movie, basically, just seeing how much power that Palpatine has over influencing Anakin, I think is great in telling the story.
Yeah, it was great how quickly it happened in the movie. It was just a nice shock.
It was just like, now kill him.
Also,
He's like,
Shia
"What?"
LaBeouf stole Palpatine's "Just do it,
Mm-hmm.
do it, do it."
The do it thing, that's going to bring up something. I want to go back to this opening thing, but I don't want to forget about going into this topic, so I'm just going to go right into it now. How awesome Palpatine was in 1 and 2. I don't like him in episode 3. It's so weird.
Yeah, he's a little too cartoony and over the top evil. It's like kind of beats you over the head with it.
Like the line that stands out to me, no, you will die. And it's like, what, dude? Come on, man. Like, you could have.
You know who he reminds me of in this film? Is the villain from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Judge Doom.
Mm-hmm.
I think Doom's a little bit scarier than Palpatine. Palpatine's a joke in this one, and he looks. How does the special effects for his face look worse, and the makeup not on par with what they did in Return of the Jedi?
I know, yeah.
Okay, I turned into
Because he
a
has
little kid
plastic
when it
surgery in the later ones that would make it less scarring.
Was it scary for you, Angie, when you were watching this? Is that what you mean?
No, I just love them so much. Like, I turned into a little kid when I saw this movie.
And at that time, I was, 17, 18, something like that. And I literally, when I'm watching that scene where he kills the Jedi and they, he does that stupid bird face when he's attacking Mace Windu. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. The first thing I thought, I was just like, oh, what the fuck? It's too easy to kill these Jedi. These are the council members and stuff. And I'm like, thinking to myself, the level of Jedi that should be easy to kill and shouldn't, whatever. I'm like, it took me out of it immediately. And then I'm laughing at the faces he's making and the "you will die" line, and oh god, it pissed me off. That could have been such a cool moment, and it's just funny. It's like I think it's either called funny aneurysm moment or NARM. I can't remember which one it is. One of them's where something's funny and it shouldn't be, and the other one's when something used to be funny, but then something happens and it's not funny anymore. Like if you make the Simpsons joke about, oh, they put all the jerks in Tower 1, and then 9/11 happens, and you're like, ugh. But I think it's NARM is the thing that it's just like, you shouldn't be laughing at this. Lucas is just like, this is going to be so cool. He kills these Jedi, and then he says, no, you will die. And nobody on the set laughed that day and said, dude, come on. Takes me out of the movie. I don't know. I will say, though, there's one thing that kind of makes up for it a little bit, and it's a good showing of Palpatine, and that's that opera scene.
Exactly. I was just going to bring that up. You were talking about how Palpatine is annoying in this one, but I think that whole scene when he's there talking with Anakin and just kind of baiting him on, just luring him in about, oh, well, you're afraid to lose? Well, I can teach you how to cheat death, and that manipulation there that they show, I think, just strengthens the relationship between Palpatine and Anakin, and you kind of see how he's lured in by, he's following his emotions. He wants to protect the people that he loves, and by any means necessary. So,
basically explained how he gave birth to Anakin Skywalker. Well,
I still think he
fathered
didn't.
Anakin Skywalker. That was just weird. I manipulated the midichlorians to give life.
I still think he didn't.
Creepy as fuck.
He's supposed to be creepy, though. Isn't that what's cool about it?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
It's not creepy as in it's this creepy. It's creepy as in you.
Well, what's creepier, the way that he's talking in that, or the way that Anakin's looking at Padme in Episode 2?
Yeah, no comparison.
Oh.
He's a bit of both.
Like father, like son. I want to go back to that opening thing that we were talking about before. We had the extended shot at the space battle. We had their badasses taking over that ship. We unfortunately had the little jokey droid voices when they're getting killed and stuff. But R2-D2 showing off that he's the man too by blowing them up with the fucking oil.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh.
He's awesome. But I think that was an awesome action sequence to start off with. And even when it comes to them landing the ship was kind of cool because you get to see like the Star Wars version of the fire department coming out to try to take the fire out. Like, I love that start to finish. I think that's a great way to start this movie. Just go right into the war, and then the war ends. But strong action sequence, I would have to say. Agree, disagree? Anybody have any flaws they want to point out?
You're talking about the whole opening sequence?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was very strong. That's one of those things that sometimes I'll just put that on and just watch that first sequence and until they land. And that's a very strong sequence right there by itself.
Cut it off right when he says another happy landing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
I
you're
like the fact Anakin Skywalker was wearing black.
That's foreshadowing.
Yeah,
Literally
Luke
shadowing.
Skywalker wore black in the last one as well, didn't he?
Yep.
So it's all swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, Episode 1, Anakin's wearing that tan kind of stuff. Episode 2, he's got that brownish stuff. Episode 3, he's got black.
He looks better in black, Adrian Christensen.
Yeah.
Better with the scar, too.
Yeah.
And
that
the
was
long hair.
unexplained. How the fuck did he get the scar? That was against Dooku, was it? Oh no.
I don't know if they explained that in anything. They didn't in the movies, at the very least, but it might be like the Clone Wars TV show. I never actually watched that whole thing.
To be fair, they never explained General Grievous to me. That's why I was completely lost in the fucking character again. Didn't read the books. Didn't read much into it.
I'm just confused about why he's like
here's General
hacking.
Grievous.
Like that whole like coughing thing is a little bit weird.
Well, that was supposed to be a parallel to the Darth Vader voice, I think.
Yeah. But I do like Grievous though. I like that he's like they started working on this idea of cyborgs.
Mm-hmm.
And come on, the 4 lightsaber thing. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Like when he starts spinning them
Mm-hmm.
in circles and stuff. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a shame Obi-Wan
McGregor.
Kenobi, I have to get that in the end, didn't flinch when he was spinning them around, right? He just stood there.
Oh, that's because he's Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
He jumps
I'm
right
sorry,
into
there's some nut was coming at me with 4 fucking lightsabers, right? I'd flinch a bit, I'd move back, and then grab my lightsaber, but no, he just stands there like a boss, like he stood in front of his green screen and didn't know what the fuck was coming at him.
Nah, it's because he's a badass. He jumps into the action and goes, "Hello there." He just kind of like, "I'm gonna kill you," Cool little thing too with him killing him with the blaster and then just saying "so uncivilized." I like that. That was nice.
Yeah, I thought that was a good touch.
How annoying though is that beast that he's riding?
Thank you.
Yeah, that was kind of
terrible.
A much.
That yelping. Ugh. That was like the Jar Jar of this. Like that, I was so happy when that thing got killed.
No.
And when that stupid little thing died and you had to feel sorry for it, nobody fucking felt sorry for it. It was like, oh, well, now we get to the best part where Anakin turns fucking evil.
Yeah, but at least they drown out the death yelps with that awesome score. Because Order 66 has great music to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creepy music in general, I love that. Like that one shot where he's trying to debate with himself whether or not he's going to go save Palpatine from Mace Windu. Real, like, impending doom, pivotal moment in the series where he can either turn to the dark side or not, and you just get this feeling of just, like, shit's going to go down. I loved that when I saw that the first time. Still love it to this day. I think that holds up really well.
I'm proud to share the last name with him.
John Williams?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking Skywalker. I'm like, wait, what?
Skywalker?
No, John.
So I'm going to pose a question here. Should Anakin have been a master on the council, or is the Jedi Council justified? Who's right here?
What do you think, Shaun?
I think Anakin was treated poorly ever since he walked in through the fucking building. All right, if Yoda opened his open arms and went, "Come here, my little 10-year-old boy," you know. But no,
That
it was like,
out creeped
oh,
the other stuff.
"Get the fuck out! You're not the fucking chosen one. You got a stupid fucking haircut. Get out!" And he was made to feel like an outcast. So in theory, Anakin had a point when they said that the Jedi were holding him back. The Jedi just didn't like him.
Mace Windu clearly didn't.
That's because Mace Windu was a racist.
Aw.
No, I think, because the rest of the Jedi kind of knew that there was something off about Anakin, whether or not they knew the full extent of it. And so not promoting him to Jedi Master, I think makes sense. Also, if they would have, then he wouldn't have, doubted his faith in the Jedi as much, and he wouldn't have been as eager or ready to, sort of turn against the Jedi and side with Palpatine. So story-wise, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, story-wise, I understand why it happened.
What did they grant him? Like semi-master or some shit like that, wasn't it? Like he was allowed to sit on the fucking Jedi talks, but
Yeah, he was allowed to
granted
sit,
master.
but yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's on the council, but he's not a master. Then he's
What a
bitching
slap
about
in the
that.
face. To be fair, though, Anakin was a whiny little bitch.
Mm-hmm. He
So
whined a little
I
bit too
could
much.
see why you wouldn't want a whiny little bitch in your cool club, like, Miguel.
Oh.
See, I think some of the choices could have been a little bit better. Like maybe Anakin. I mean, I think he's justified in being like, "What? That's an insult. That's an insult." I don't know why I pronounced it that way. That's an insult. It's never happened in the history of the council, kind of thing, or whatever like that. But I would have appreciated maybe some quick shot of him just like looking at Windu, like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you, dude." That would have been a good little. You're dead, you son of a bitch. I'm going to be number 2 on the council in no time because there's going to be an open spot, you bastard.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they could have done some things a lot better. But they had the right idea, at least, for a lot of these things. Like the end fights here, we had Yoda versus Palpatine in the Senate, which was cool, chucking the Senate seats and everything.
Oh, yeah.
That was very cool.
But it bugs me that he loses the fight and he goes, "Into exile I must go." Dude, you got shit to do. You
Mhm.
lost one fight.
Yeah, that was a little strange.
Like, Obi-Wan, he takes care of Anakin, essentially. And he just goes right into, like, well, now we got to deal with Padme, we got to do this. Like, Obi-Wan gets his stuff done. Yoda is a coward.
That's 'cause
Yeah, I
she's
did
a
think it
little
was weird that he
Washington.
kind of exiled himself after that.
Like, he gets saved by Bail Organa. It's just kind of like, so, any good, like, swamp planets?
He needed to
I-
buy himself a tree to live in.
Sorry.
He was looking for real estate, right? And he was like, "Ooh, this Dagobah system looks pretty inhabitable. So let's go live there. Fuck all this shit. I need a
I
vacation."
always thought that he just got flooded with what was going to happen in the future and knew he had to protect himself.
Like, he had, like, a vision, kind of.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll justify it that way.
Sure, why
And
not?
that's just something I made up in my mind to try and explain what happened.
That'll be the term for that's headcanon, where it's like you make it up and it makes sense and stuff. I'll take that as headcanon for myself from now on too.
Yeah, he just knew he didn't stand a chance where he
I-
was. So.
I
Yeah.
just think he was just clinically depressed. Just
Aww.
needed to get away from it all. He was washed over with grief because Anakin killed all the younglings.
He's like, I miss Mace.
Yeah.
So he went to
Mace Windu
Dagobah,
died,
started
his,
listening to Linkin Park.
his life partner died. It's all a
in
bit
the
sad.
end, it doesn't really matter.
And now you got flagged for copyright.
If I did, I'll be pissed. So, the big end fight, of course, Shaun mentioned it before, one of the highlights of the movie, Anakin versus Obi-Wan. Thoughts on that? Is it too choreographed or is it just too awesome?
It's awesome. I mean, especially where it was on Mustafar with, you got the lava everywhere and you just how they play with the shadow and the light during that whole scene. Fantastic. I mean, I don't think they really could have improved on that end scene or, the lightsaber battle portion of it very much. As far as the lightsaber battles go, that is up there. You know, we were talking before about the Darth Maul one at the end of episode 1, and I think those two are the highlights of the prequels. I mean, as far as lightsaber battles go.
See, I've got a bone to pick about this fight. They end it with Obi-Wan saying, "It's over. I've got the high ground." Darth Maul had the high ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Obi-Wan learned from that experience, you see. Whereas where he did a flip over Darth Maul didn't swing his lightsaber. Whereas when Anakin did the flip, he was like, fuck this, I've seen this before. Deja vu, I'm just going to swing.
But I think what that was saying was that they know each other so well. They know their strengths and weaknesses. You know, they know their counter, or not counterpoints, but their, you know, counteractions. So basically, it boils down to whoever had the high ground was victorious. So
Like,
since
that's
they know
Vader's weak point.
well, yeah, I guess, you know, or whichever one would have had the high ground would have been come out on top, you know, figuratively and literally. But I just thought that part just showed how much they know each other and their strengths and weaknesses.
Underestimate my power. Don't try it, Anakin. Oh, that's fucking great, man. And then you got the whole speech, you know, the one where he was like, "You were the chosen one. It was said you would destroy the Sith, not join them. Bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness." It's like the best thing ever. It's great. And he called him his brother, you know.
Some of those lines are so terrible, though. From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Yeah.
God damn, man. Nobody on the set wanted to rewrite that line that day.
Nah, fuck that.
Or Obi-Wan saying only the Sith deal in absolutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's an absolute. Jerk. You know?
And the fact that he was fighting for democracy.
Yeah, democracy.
And the way Ewan McGregor says, "Your new empire." It's fucking great.
And I'm going to skip ahead to my least favorite thing about this whole movie and just say this line right now. No, it's 'cause I'm so in love with you.
Oh, I thought you were going to just Duel of Fates now. I was about to slap you.
No, Duel of Fates is awesome.
Duel of Fates is fucking the best score in any Star Wars film ever.
No, but that scene with Padme and Anakin where he's saying, "You're beautiful," and she's like, "That's just 'cause I'm in love." And he's like, "No, it's 'cause I'm so in love with you." It's like,
Yeah.
is this written by a 10-year-old?
I completely forgot about this.
I will argue, though, the nightmare stuff is very good when it comes to, like, he already went through this with his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's doing it through Padme, so he knows that she's going to die. And that's a good motivator, I think.
Do you reckon Palpatine made those dreams, though?
No, I think it's just Anakin being God. You know, because it's essentially what he is, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this up a little bit here. Final thoughts on it comes to Revenge of the Sith. What's your 0 to 10 and anything else you want to throw out there, Shaun?
I give this an 8. Only because of Duel of Fates and the final fight scene, which is fucking amazing. And the fact when they lose their lightsabers, the fighting still continues with Anakin doing a dropkick. That was pretty boss. Though, the fight with the Chancellor and Yoda, that could have been skipped. So when I watched that fight on YouTube, I just watched the whole Anakin and Obi-Wan fight. I don't watch the Chancellor shit. And like I said, the whole stuff with General Grievous could have been skipped. And Mace Windu dying, that was pretty fucked up. And the way Count Dooku died, that was pretty fucked up. You can see his head roll, which is pretty fucked up.
That got a chuckle out of me when I was watching it.
Yeah.
And the Chancellor was extremely lucky because if his plan didn't work out, then he would have been dead, and then none of this shit would have happened. So the way it all worked out for him in the end was pretty subpar. Like, and the fact that the end scene was the construction of the Death Star, I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Which kind of brings into the question, though, if they were like already in construction, then how do they make it so fast from Empire to the Jedi?
They don't hire contractors.
No independent contractors from Clerks?
Mm-hmm. My bad points to this film was the whole CGI animals.
The Wookiees?
Not the Wookiees, the fucking thing that Obi-Wan was riding. That was fucking stupid.
Oh, that thing. I was gonna say, if you don't like the Wookiees, come on, man.
And
Wookiees.
and Order 66 was pretty. I don't know. I like the fact that clones turned evil, but I would like to have seen something better than just execute Order 66. Like that was implanted in the brains or some shit. That was weird. And again, the whole Chancellor fight with Yoda, that could have been fucking scrapped. I wasn't a fan.
Calen, what do you think?
I loved how we saw the Senate dismantled and then literally broken apart, during that fight. So, it was figurative and literal. I thought that was cool. And then, that led to Order 66. And I like that whole scene, just how basically a switch is flipped and you see everything just change and just everything starts crumbling down for the Jedi. And, leading up to the big lightsaber battle, which we already discussed between Obi-Wan and Anakin. Overall, I would have to say this one I'd probably give a 7.5. I thought it was a very strong movie. I enjoyed it very much.
Angie?
I am going to give this one an 8. I loved the music, the battles, and yeah, definitely, things like Order 66 and the clones, what they did with them. My least favorite, again, was a lot of the writing, I'm not sure. There's just like little tiny things like every now and then that would pop up that would take me out of the movie.
Like that I'm so in love with you scene?
Yeah, things like that. Just like one-liners.
Before you go to you, Tony, I just have to say one thing that I forgot to mention. I was talking about things that I liked, but I didn't mention the one big thing that I dislike, and it takes me out of the movie every time I see it. It's the parallel there with the Frankenstein's monster with Vader on the table. And he goes, "No, you killed her." No!
Oh, yeah.
It's like, come on.
I
Really?
forgot about that. I didn't.
Do not want.
I also want to bring that up as well. The fact that in episode 4, he finds out that Luke is his son. Like, when you put 2 and 2 together and go, hang on a minute, you told me Padme was dead, and yeah, here's my son. It's like, dude, if you killed Padme, you wouldn't have your son. Like, come on.
See, I love the idea that they did the birth scene and the kind of rebirth into Darth Vader thing. That parallel was cool, but that no ruins it. It could have just been an kind of thing where he didn't need to do anything. It could have just... You leave that line out with "Where's Padme? Is she okay?" He could have just known that she was dead, and it would have been implied.
Kind of like at the end of Return of the Jedi, where they added the no. I think in this instance, in episode 3, silence would have been more powerful.
Yep.
Or the fact that he could have went, "Oh, where's Padme?" And then he went, "Oh, you killed her," and he would have went, "Oh well, never mind."
He could have. He was just like, "Oh man."
Good riddance.
It's like, I banged her. Who gives a fuck?
He's like, shit. Alright, what do you want to do, Palpatine? Take over the world?
Do you want to blow up Alderaan now? Yeah, let's go blow up Alderaan.
He's like, I'll get around to it in a couple of years. I gotta give it around that 7-8 range. I love a lot of parts about this movie. I mentioned before, some of the issues bug me, but I will mention a positive when it comes to dialogue. I think this has one of the best lines out of all 6 Star Wars movies, and it's from Padme, who also has that whole, "No, it's because I'm so in love with you" scene or whatever, but she has a great, great line. And I don't know why Lucas could write a line like this, but that he couldn't write better shit when it comes to, "From my point of view, the Jedi are evil." So this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
line. Like, whoever wrote that line, write the rest of the damn movie.
I know. It just bugs the hell out of me.
But one thing that people got on about the prequels in general was that they were too political, too much stuff with the Senate. But I disagree. I like all that. I think it was necessary, and I think it's interesting too. I'm the kind of person where, like, for example, if we're talking about Star Trek, Deep Space Nine is my favorite, and I think that's overall the most political one. I don't mind the sort of, psychological elements behind it, the character development, and I don't get me wrong, I love action too, but I love seeing kind of the slow build also.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought the political stuff was fine. I didn't think it was heavy-handed.
We're going to have to see how much political stuff they put in Force Awakens, because you never know. Could have like everything with Leia is in like a Senate scene or something like that. But that'll round us out for the prequels. So for the people that could not get through those or whatever, we understand it, but we got the original trilogy coming up, so you can breathe a sigh of relief. Episode 4 is coming up next. Click on that part on YouTube. Go back and check out the prequels if you didn't check them out anyway, because I'm sure we're going to be referencing some jokes and stuff that, you might not get it a little bit later on or whatever. But nonetheless, A New Hope is coming up next. Stay tuned.